Hi, this is my 1963/65 CL72. I say 63/65 because it has a 63 frame. Everything is 63. Shocks, yes, the shocks, the front and rear tire, the exhaust, the handlebars, the headlight and speedometer, the everything is minus the front forks, of course. Those are from a different bike, and carburetors and the engine are from a 65 CL72. It has a 305 head. Not sure if that's a good or a bad thing, but this is currently my restoration project. As you can see, it's not in a good place. It's outside, so I plan to take it apart real quick. I just recently acquired this, so I plan to take it apart really quick within today and tomorrow, so I can put it inside in a safe place. You can see it has a lot of wear, but I'm going to start by taking off the exhaust pipes, but then right after that I'm going to go ahead and lay the bike on this elevated tire. It'll be nice and soft there, so then I can take off the forks, the front and rear tire, and then everything else, and the engine, and then lift the frame off of the engine and categorize everything. And so I'll get back with you guys in a bit, and you'll see what that looks like once it's on the ground. Okay, so I got the first clamp off. As you can see, it's very rusty and corroded, so you might be tempted to take something and just want to put it in between and just to dislodge it. You want to be careful when doing that, because these fins are very old as well and you could damage them. So I did put something in between, but I gently, ever so lightly, tapped it out of place, and it will come out with a little persuasion. I use this hammer here and I gently tapped on it little by little, and she'll come out. I didn't put any WD-40 on this, but she will come out unless it's a really serious necessary thing to do. I won't put on it. I'll just gently persuade it to come off, and there you can see that it did. You want to be careful with these fins, not to bend them, because they will crack and break. So now I'm just going to go ahead and get the other side done. If you're interested in knowing what size the bolts were, I used this size spanner here. Also, if you do happen to lose one of these, don't just put whatever bolt that you see fits, because the threads are made specifically for that bolt, and if you just slap whatever nut on there, you're going to mess up the threading. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the other one off, and then I'll get back with you guys as soon as the bike is down and ready to be disassembled. Okay, so the bike is currently now laying on its side. All the fluids in the tank are empty. I'll probably should have taken the tank off first. Everything is emptied out already. It is raining a little bit, that's why I'm trying to rush to do this quick, but I'm gonna go ahead and take off the forks real quick. The handlebars are off already. Other things that are off are the brake lever on the other side, here the kickstand retainer, but the rear tire is coming off. So the forks, then the rear tire, then the shocks, and then the swing arm is gonna come off, then all the electronics, and then the engine finally. Hopefully I can get this done really quick. I'll get back to you guys as soon as one part is coming off the other. Okay, so I got the front wheel off. There it is right there. This is the 1963 model, so it has the small leading front brake. Before they changed that later on, and they changed it to a bigger leading brake. So this is what it looks like so far. Now I'm going to go ahead and take off the forks and the headlights with it, and hopefully I can get that done soon. It's not looking too bad. The weather was a little cloudy, a little rainy. That's why I was rushing to do this. I do have everything in a little disorganized, organized pattern, but have everything where it should be. Exhaust is off already too. Took the tank off too right away. Now I'm gonna go ahead and finish taking off the rest the rest of the stuff. You see it's a CL, where's the VIN? See, it's a CL72. I'm not sure if you guys can see that very clearly. CL72 with a, where does this say 305? 305, somewhere right there it says 305 head. There we go, 305 head. So if anyone knows any information about that or this particular bike, let me know. I haven't had any problems. It was running before. I just wanted to get this cleaned up. It was running right. Did have a little problems with it being a little bit too lean, because of course it had this instead of the stock, and it's a dirty carb, but it was running right. So if y'all have any information about that, I'll get back to you as soon as the forks are off. Okay, so I was having some difficulty with the forks, removing the forks. See, they only got so far. These are not even the stock forks. I don't know what forks these are off of. So I'm gonna see how I can get these off. I am looking already, put an order already for the stock, correct year and number model forks that I'll be rebuilding as well. But I did get the swing arm off. The bolt and everything is on the swing arm. Put it all together, make sure everything is where it should be. I got the rear rail off as well. Everything with the rear fender off as well, with all its bolts and everything. So now, just taking the carburetors off. Already took the throttle assembly off. I'm gonna take the carburetors off. Once the carburetors are off, I'm gonna take the coils off. Just these bolts here. I don't think it's a 10. Oh yeah, it's a 10. Just loosen it up. That's what I'll do. Hopefully I can salvage these. The bike was running before the teardown. Just want to, you know, beautify it and perfect it, tune it to perfection and everything. Rebuild the carbs, bathe it in a ultrasonic cleaner, clean these up. Hopefully I can find NOS cables here, as these looked pretty gooned. This as well, clean this all up. Looks like the previous owner put some new gaskets on there. Hopefully I can salvage those, find a better cover. If not, I'll use this one. The bike is not going to be a show bike. I definitely want to make it beautiful again, but it will be a rider. Do intend this to ride this as much as I can. You guys see there's the oil, a drainage plug, remove the rear tire. Let's see, hopefully I can get this all done before nightfall. At least the engine out. Everything is already saved away in a dry, safe spot. Okay, get back to you guys. So this is where I'm at so far. I have the forks left to do. It's still a bit challenging. I'm gonna go ahead and take off the headlight, disconnect the wiring, and then call it a day. It's getting pretty well, it's getting a little dark out, but this is what I have so far. This is a 1963 frame, rear end, wheels, even has the short leading front and rear brake. 1963, however the engine is 1965. I do have the original 1963 engine with it. It was covered. I uncovered it right now just to show you guys, but I'm gonna take off the electrics, the headlight, and take photos of everything to make sure I don't forget anything. I do have the manual as well as Bill Silver's book on these Hondas, so hopefully I have plenty to restore this bike. I'm not gonna go all out and powder coat it and everything, although I'd love to, although I'd like to, and perhaps one day I will. But this, I will be stripping all the paint off of the frame, cleaning it down, cleaning the metal as well as I can. I am knowledgeable in that. Then painting it, putting the prime coats and everything, cleaning up the engine, taking the top end off, see if there's anything in there that needs to be done, new piston rings and all that. Hopefully not, because the parts on this bike are very expensive. I just ruined my coils. I was trying to take off a part, and you can see there it cracked while I was loosening the bolt. The bolt was loose, but as I was untightening it, it just cracked, gave out. I really liked the look on these ones, and I was really hoping to use these ones, but hey, they're 50 plus years old, and as awesome and as great to have an original coils on them. It's not going to happen. I mean, I could find other ones, but then there's a risk I'm taking with them not working. So I'm going to find the best possible coils. If anyone knows any, let me know in the comment section, please, and I will hopefully get them if I haven't already. So I'll be looking for the best coils, the best spark plugs, updating the system as possible as I can, because I don't want this to be a show bike sitting in a museum or sitting in my living room looking pretty. I want this to be a runner, an everyday runner that I could use, because that's what Honda built it to be. So that's what I'll be doing here. If there's anything you guys have to comment about, please let me know, but for now I'll get back to you guys because the weather's getting bad. Okay, so this is today's last video, December 26, 2018. So I did get all the wiring off, just the engine wiring is what's left on. Got the headlight off, got everything else off. Here's the wiring. Here's this, I love the headlight style. I'm going to definitely, even though this has some dings, definite dings in there on this side, at least it's symmetrical. Look, I think actually that's on purpose. I think that's on purpose. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. I have to look at what some stock headlights look like. You know, this one came black to me. The owner told me he really liked the color black and that he wanted to keep it that style. So I'm not sure if he's the one that painted it like this or the owner before him. There's some white underneath, but it looks like that white is underneath the blue, so that might be the primer. I read that that Honda, the early Hondas, did not have primer coating. It was just like this. I've read stories where it's just white underneath the paint. So I'm going to try to modernize this bike as much as possible. I'll probably go as far as new coils, modern ignition system, take the points out, modern rectifier. I'm not too sure how long this one will last me. It's nice to have the original stock stuff, but you know, I'm going to be riding this on the road every day, and this is already 50 plus years. So what I'm going to salvage from this wiring is obviously the key, this fuse. Lovely to see how there's not a lot of fuses for the bike, and this lovely, I'll be restoring this as well. I have the other one for the other side as well. I'll try to find a horn. If not, I'll just go with an aftermarket one that looks similar to it. So I'm believing definitely the stock color was blue, but I'm not sure. I'm debating whether I should go with red or black. I saw the red ones. They look absolutely beautiful. If you're wondering what tools I used to remove all this, this is what I used. This one I used to ding out the long bolt that goes through here, the axle or whatever it's called. This one came in handy. I usually never use a 3/8 on my bikes, but today it came in handy until I busted my coil. This came in handy for removing the battery. What else? There's some other tools around here that I do not see. Oh yeah, this hammer came in handy. Just very. Oh, here you go. There. That makes it. That completes it. And then some other of these in there, but that's what I used for this to remove the bike, everything. If you're wondering what I have here, I have a 1967 Honda Dream. This is next. this only has 7,000 original miles, and it turns on beautifully, runs beautifully. But I'm gonna have to rewire the system. The wires are getting pretty corroded, and being outside for just a few days is not helping. I will be putting it in. Anyone that's gonna comment about how these are outside and these beautiful, yes, I am gonna be putting it in. I'm going to either invest in getting someone to weld a rear fender for me. I can't find any online. If not, I'll just go ahead and invest in getting a frame, hopefully a frame with a title, and putting it on the bike. And finding rubber knee pads for this bike has been pretty difficult. I love the way this bike looks. There are obviously some things that are missing, tiny little things here and there that are not stock on the bike, but other than that, I absolutely love the way this bike looks. And so that is all that I have for today. Of course, I'll be covering these up with some paper towels or cloths to make sure that nothing that shouldn't be getting in there will be. So tomorrow I will be finishing this off. Hopefully the engine will be out of the frame, the toolbox will be out, and those forks will be off. They're not good anymore. You can see there's a whole bunch of oil out here. Every time they get depressed, there's a whole bunch of oil coming out. So these will get, maybe I'll use them for art or something, I don't know. But the stock forks are on their way. We're rebuilding that. Thank you for watching. Next time I see you guys, the engine will be out of the frame. Good morning. So I got the forks off. Got all the bearings in a safe location. Got the forks off. However, it was a bit challenging because they were not the stock forks, so I wasn't prepared to remove them, but I did get them off. I had an impact drive that so happened to have the right bit size, and I used that to knock them out. And I took off all the bolts and everything. Those forks were completely worn out, totally unusable. I mean, I bet someone could rebuild them and use them, but I wasn't going to use them for this bike. I'm going to go with the stock, rebuild the stock ones, and be happy with that. I forgot to remove this, the dampener. The dampener still appears to work fine, so I'll be using that one too. The other set is coming with its own, so see which one is the better of the two. But this is what it looks like when it's just the frame and the engine. Like I said, this is a top 305 head. 305 head, 305, this is 305 as well, and the body is a CL72. I've seen people put different kinds of head. I've even seen 450 heads on these CL72s, Suzuki 400 heads on these CL72s. This would be interesting to build, but I like the way these look already. And this is, you see all the wiring harness is out. All I have left to do is to remove the engine, which appears to me to be pretty straightforward. I just remove this bolt here, and that bolt down there, and this up here. Once I remove this, then I'll have the slack that I need to push the engine up and get it out of the frame. So then I can strip the paint down and get it ready for a new coating of primer and beautiful paint. And I'll get back to you guys once the engine is out. Okay, so after a little bit of struggling, here's the frame and the engine. And I just lay it on its side, take it out from where it's most easy to slide out from, and I just slid it out. Just like that. Just gotta be careful. I did this with two hands and it slid. There we go. And it just slides out. Just like that. And now we have a CL72 frame. There we go. That's everything. In case anyone that is looking into doing the same thing, they can take a look at what their frame will look like. Everything is there. So I had initially thought it was just this bolt up here, the bolt that goes up here, and then this one up here, but I was wrong because there was one going right through there. On the CB77, I believe it's just those three there. I think that's just the case, but and the same thing on just the sides here and up there. But since it has this down tube going and this cradle holding it there, we have this right there. It slid out once I put it on its side. It just slid out very easily. So again, tools that I used, my bolts getting ready to go in safekeeping, and this frame is ready to get cleaned down. And I wanted to do powder coating, but it's going to be a bit pricey, so I'm going to invest in something that I can do myself and hopefully find the best paint option that will be the most durable and last me long enough until I have to take it apart again and repaint it. But that's okay, because I love doing this kind of stuff, and it really gets you into your bike. There's the toolbox that I'd taken off too with all its parts. And here's the engine. You can see all the crud at the bottom. Here, this is what the engine looks like. The heaviest part of the bike. I'll be putting this inside too for safekeeping here, and I'll be making a brand new harness for it. I'm not going to get an NOS harness for it. Couldn't find one, and if I did, I bet it would be expensive, so I'll be making one for this. I had a CB550 bobber that someone sold to me for $100, and it caught on fire. It looked like it caught on fire. There was charred leather and everything that looked like it caught on fire. At least that's what I think happened with the previous owner. And so when just whatever wires were left, I hooked up a quick makeshift wiring, and the bike fired right up. So I'm gonna do the same thing with this bike, and of course wire it up to use turn signals and a horn, and get it all pretty beautified. I'm not gonna do anything too intricate. I'm not gonna do a bolt by bolt restoration. This is sort of just to get on the road well, running really good, make it pretty. Of course I'm gonna redo the paint on the frame, redo the paint on the rims. Well, not paint the rims, polish them, polish the tank, everything. Probably the thing that's going to get the prettiest work is the frame. Oh, this was inside of the frame also, but I have everything there ready to label, and this is what it looks like in case anyone is interested in knowing. Okay. Thank you. I'll get back to you guys once this baby is ready to get painted. Oh, and in case you're wondering what I'm going to do, I could either get some aircraft remover, spray it on, and just strip off the paint, or I could get an angle grinder with a wire brush adapter and just take this all. It has a load of rust. I know the aircraft remover is not going to remove the rust, so I'm just going to probably go with the angle grinder to get all the rust off. And whatever tight spots I can't reach myself, I'm gonna go ahead and use the aircraft remover to get it. But this is what it looks like. I'm glad it came with this, because sometimes these are pretty charred and gone. But this is what your frame looks like. Okay, get all the close-ups, sorry. Okay, and I'll be posting some pictures along the way too. I know I didn't do a video of me in the process, but hopefully I could get a video of me rebuilding it all back together, and hopefully so you guys can see the process. Okay, anyways, take care.